This is a short video file designed to sort of explain your Dickinson Whitman paper to kind of get that into perspective for you. One of the goals of second semester sophomores is to give you more of an opportunity to do the reflection and to do the work on your own. We'll discuss it in class, but I want you to do a lot of the analysis on your own to learn the skills. And once we've covered it, to get a better idea of how that stuff works out. So that's, I think, the most important part about this video that you need to be aware of. So as we move through, and I have my iPad down here with notes, so if I continue to look at it, that would be why. So these videos are critical to your overall success. You may not want to go through and look at this. It may be inconvenient, but I am going to rely on this process to get you the information that you're going to need. So if you look at your Emily Dickinson Walt Whitman comparison analysis essay, this is designed to have you look at the similarities, even the differences between the two hugely significant authors of the late Romantic and early Realist periods. So your understanding of what Whitman does in his poetry and his huge sense of nationalism, his belief that America is the greatest poem, the leaves of grass metaphor. It's very important that we have an understanding of that and go through that handout that I gave you about the information. We then move over and take a look at Emily Dickinson, who is, as I had said in class, an agoraphobe, somebody who was afraid to go out of her house, who was so terrified she never published her own material. So I think those things also become very relevant in our understanding of what's going on. So these are important skills that I want you to be aware of. I have chosen, for the sake of this project, to take you to bartleby.com. It's a great clearinghouse for literature that you might need. Much better, I think, with American Lit than it is Brit Lit. But as you go through and you look, this is a good place. So if you see here, we have the complete poems of Emily Dickinson. And specifically, it lays it out into these particular categories. Part 1, life. Part 2, nature. Part 4, time and eternity. Part 5, the single hound. Now, depending on what you're looking for your essay due on Tuesday, you're going to choose from those general categories. As you can see, I've selected to go from life here, and I decided also that we're going to look at poem number 16, which is "To fight aloud is very brave." We know from history and from sort of the way it all works out that Dickinson was an agoraphobe. She never really was comfortable leaving her home. So as a result, most of this poetry was published after she had passed away anonymously. So that's why you're going to see that the first line of the title is the first line of the poem. So here we look at stanza number 1. "To fight aloud is very brave, but gallanter I know, who charge within the bosom the cavalry of woe." This is an internal poem. This is all about internal thoughts and feelings. To fight aloud is very brave, but gallanter I know. You look at that word gallanter. It's more brave to charge in your own heart the cavalry of woe. So you take the sadness in your own heart and you challenge yourself with it. You try to deal with those concepts. In the second stanza, I look at the language. "Who win and nations do not see, who fall and none observe, whose dying eyes no country regards with patriot love." That reminds me very much in 5 through 8, lines that is, of the work of St. Ignatius. To give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds. Nobody sees what you do. There is no need here to brag. There's no need to go out and get even an external validation for what you're doing. "We trust in plumed procession, for such the angels go, rank after rank with even feet, and uniforms of snow." That third stanza is what we call the turn. "We trust in plumed procession, for such the angels go, rank after rank, with even feet, and uniforms of snow." There is that idea, we did it in the first snowfall, that peace that covers us at the end of our lives. When death is taken over, when we are in rank after rank of tombs, laying all that stuff out. We get a very particular idea here that we go forward, we die, but there's peace after we do that if we have lived a full life. So I take this poem and I look at the particular concepts and I say, what is there here that I think is truly monumental? Now I've given you I've circled some pieces. I've put some arrows in for us to be aware of context. This is one particular example that I want to make sure that we can develop as we go. So as we do that, it's important for us to pay attention. You get the idea that as we look at how that poem is structured and textured, that this isn't too difficult, but it certainly hinges upon some deeper, much more solid ideas. So you need to take notes. You need to catalog how those poems are developing as you move through their context, as you look at how ideas are organized. If you do that, I think you're going to be ultimately fine with this project. So I think that's it for right now. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to post it to Moodle so that we do have a very clear idea of how the ideas work. I've done one poem. You are responsible for more than one. You're responsible for comparison. I think life will be great once you get through and you understand how it all works out. Okay? So good luck, Godspeed, all those fun things.